I'm Warren Sprouse. You're on the Bible Forum. Have you ever wondered what's going on in outer space? You ever wondered about our little planet? We think we're on a fairly good-sized planet, but it's a tiny little thing, a little speck in the great scheme of the universe. And we send rockets out and people. We've done all kinds of probing. We have equipment that allows us to see for millions of miles out in all directions to find out what's going on. But astronomers are not satisfied. Many of them are evolutionists. They don't believe that there is a one true God. They believe that we came up through the ooze, and they believe that there are planets out there that are just like ours. All we have to do is find them. A website that calls itself studyfinds.org published an article this week. The byline is from Sydney, Australia. Astronomers and space fanatics across the globe have long sought to answer the question of whether or not there are other planets like Earth out there. Researchers from the University of Sydney say that life really may be unique to Earth after all. Prior studies in recent years suggested the universe could be teeming with life, but now that's considered unlikely. They show results that the first weather forecasts from our solar system's next-door neighbor are a massive setback for alien hunters. The discovery has implications for other distant planets as well. It will make it easier to detect their atmospheric conditions, and according to this study, an Earth-sized water world only 4.2 light years away is officially inhospitable, despite being in what they call the habitable zone. The rocky planet is named Proxima b, and it is being bombarded with radiation, they say. The planet lies too close to Proxima Centauri, a type of star known as a red dwarf, and the most common. Unfortunately, the reports from Proxima Centauri are not promising for finding life as we know it. Habitable zones closer than Earth would rule that out. Astronomers have recently found there are two Earth-like rocky planets around Proxima Centauri, one within the habitable zone, where any water could be in liquid form. But given Proxima Centauri is a cool, small red dwarf star, it means that habitable zone is very close to the star, much closer than Mercury is to our sun. And so what our research is showing is that this makes the planets very vulnerable to dangerous ionization, ionizing radiation that could effectively sterilize them. Alien life as a concept is really wishful thinking. At least that's what a number of people are telling us. And these studies, this research is on the verge of being just hopeless. Proxima Centauri and Proxima b are 25 trillion miles from Earth. It would take thousands of years to get there with the current technology that we have. Scientists are hoping to propel tiny spacecraft across the galaxy by lasers at 20% the speed of light, and that would shorten the journey. It would shorten it down to just a number of decades. Proxima b's discovery 4 years ago generated huge excitement. It suggested ET might be right on our doorstep, astronomically speaking, of course. It was thought a planet can be nearer and still enjoy a climate as benign as is our own. The first analysis of stellar flares and radio bursts on a star system, the solar system turns the theory on its head. Countless exoplanets give astronomers hope for finding another Earth, but so far they've been discouraged. There are now more than 4,000 known exoplanets, or those revolving around stars. beyond the solar system, our solar system, boosting hopes of finding extraterrestrial life. Oh, and the magnetic fields like Earth's have never been identified around an exoplanet, and finding them could prove tricky. But even if there were magnetic fields, given the stellar proximity of habitable zone planets around red dwarf stars, this might not be enough to protect them. Do you get the idea that human beings are not content with what they have? They're not content with the understanding that they have as to why they're here and what makes all this so special. Do you get the idea, as most atheists have, that it requires a God that is supernatural, a God whose mind, ability to think and to function is beyond anything we can imagine, a God who can bring something out of nothing and can change our life, our solar system's life, the entire universe's life, if he chooses to. And the more you think about that, the more you agree with them. It is so hard to imagine such a thing. And the Bible is largely silent on the issue. The Bible asks us just simply to look at your own backyard. Don't worry about all that other stuff out there. When we see pictures of the universe, it is just mind-boggling. We are one little planet, one little solar system on the real edge of a much larger system that is involved with an even larger system than that goes on forever. It just blows your mind. Now, we can believe there's a God who has the power to create life and to sustain it. Well, that's pretty far-fetched. Or we can believe that all of this just happened to come into being, and that all these millions and billions of stars and suns and planets and that are running around in circles and doing all these things just happened to happen, which is pretty far out there. Those are the only choices that you have. One choice has hope, and the other choice, you might as well blow your brains out. Doesn't make any difference anyway. Don't do it.